I can't figure out for the life of me why Benny Johnson from The Benny Show and Candace Owens are blatantly lying about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's case being dismissed and over. You know, I am a forever Trumper. Before Trump even ran for president the first time, I said that he should be president. I have supported him through and through everything. I've been called every name in the book, every name that you can think of. So I have to say that before I make this video because everybody on social media likes to put other people in a box. So if you talk like I do, you're a red pill, you're this, you're that. No, I'm on the side of the truth. I'm not on a black side, a white side, Republican, Democrat. I'm on the side of the truth. Even though I am a Republican and I am ultra conservative and I'm a forever Trumper, that doesn't mean that no matter what Trump says, even if it's a lie, I'll agree with. And I don't believe that Trump lies. I believe that Trump is operating in truth, and that's why they're going after him. I believe that 1,000%. And how do I know that? Because I look at his policies. I look at the videos that he makes. I look at everything. I don't just let somebody else tell me what they heard and then I believe it like majority of social media. So that's my problem with Benny Johnson and Candace Owens. You know, they're these big red pillars and pro-Trumpers, but it's obvious that you haven't looked at any of the evidence in Andrew Tate's case. It's obvious that you haven't looked at any of the evidence collected in Andrew and Tristan Tate's case. Let's put to the side for a minute the evidence that was collected by the police. So, have you ever watched Andrew Tate's own videos of him describing how he manipulates girls, young teenage girls, to work on webcam for him? And he's admitted on video, Vivian, that he started sleeping with her when she was 15. The video's not edited. It's not made up. It's Andrew Tate in his own words telling you how he manipulates these young girls, gets them to come to Romania, isolates them from their friends and family, makes them work 13, 15 hours a day, and then slaves them, according to Tristan Tate, and keeps all the money. So if I don't know what, like, you don't know that's human trafficking? You don't know that's sex trafficking? Huh, Betty? Huh, Candace Owens? See, it kills me from you two, right? You claim to be pillars of the truth, pillars of righteousness, and we're going to take down, all the corrupt Democrats and the pedos and Epstein and Diddy, and you're going to do all these videos on that. I mean, you do tons of videos on that. But somehow you overlook the Tate's case? You didn't look into the evidence of Andrew Tate's case? Because if you sat down and read some of the evidence that's been collected by Tate, especially the WhatsApp messages in the chat rooms that have been allowed into the court by the judge presiding over the case, you would know that those two pieces of garbage are human traffickers, pimps, and pedophiles. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate also tweeting support for Jeffrey Epstein and every other pedo on the planet. You don't see their tweets. You don't see their own video. Oh, let me guess. They didn't tweet it. Those videos are really not them. It's been edited. All the evidence collected, nope, you didn't see it. You're the red pill community, right, Benny? Right, Candace? I mean, Candace Owens from day one. I honestly think, I'm starting to think, well, besides her husband being friends with the Tates, they have some type of relationship because she protects the Tates like a mother would to children or a loyal wife. So are they related somehow? I mean, Tate's father is black. I mean, are they related? Were they lovers at one time? Because it doesn't make sense to me that somebody like Candace Owens that prides herself on telling the truth and researching everything just totally puts the blinders on for the Tates. So, at this point, they're acting, Benny and Candace are acting no different from the Democrat media that they criticize on a daily basis. They're not acting any different from The View, CBS, NBC. They're not acting any different from any of those news stations that these two make a good living tearing to shreds. Do not come in my comment section and tell me I'm a Kamala Harris voter. You need to look at my channel. I'm Trump forever. I'm a forever Trumper. I love Trump before it was cool to love Trump. He's a winner. He wins at everything he does. He's one of the toughest human beings. He's one of the toughest soldiers that God has ever created. Everything just rolls off his back. I've admired him forever. And for all this, he's a racist. Listen to Judge Joe Brown. He talks about this in the 80s and 90s when the banks were being racist as hell and not giving any black entrepreneurs business loans. People in Atlanta would tell other black entrepreneurs, go to this guy, Donald Trump, he'll give you a loan. And when they would get all the money back and try to pay back Donald Trump his money, Trump would rip up the check. Doesn't sound like a racist to me at all. So I don't want to hear that I'm a secret Democrat. I'm Kamala. I'm on the side of the truth. I'm into the truth. That's what I chase as a journalist/reporter. Let's watch what Benny Johnson has to say.
Your entire brand on preaching and speaking about freedom, and you have a huge social media following. You become a bit of a cultural icon, and then an evil regime makes up fraudulent charges against you. Tries to put you in jail, gives you a mugshot and everything. But you defeat them. What do you call that? You would say, well, President Trump, right? That's the origin story of Donald Trump. But actually, ladies and gentlemen, they've tried this playbook many times, and they tried it in many ways around the world. They're still trying it with world leaders, but also with big-time influencers like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate went through these exact same Trump playbook in Romania, in case you're wondering exactly how far these tentacles go around the world and why they must be chopped off. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Tate now is free, or very close to being free. Tate's free! Happy International Men Day, said Andrew Tate, posting a video of him and his boys dancing this morning.
God.
Tate
I mean, Benny, it's obvious you're in love, that you haven't looked at any of the evidence, which is online, that you can go to Romania Public Records and DICOT puts it online. Do you want to drink their bathwater as they're dancing? Maybe they're sweat off a towel? Like, you're in love. It's obvious. Because if you look at the evidence for 5 minutes, you know they're guilty as hell.
The Tate dancing videos. A absolute classic. What are they dancing over? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have news. Romanian court finds irregularities in prosecutor's case against Andrew Tate. Irregularities, huh? A Romanian court on Tuesday ruled that a prosecutor's indictment against influencer Andrew Tate contains multiple irregularities, gave them less than a week to amend or withdraw the case against Tate. The ruling by the Bucharest Court of Appeals is a major setback for Romania, anti-organized crime agency, which must act within 5 days. The appeals court has ordered that some of the evidence be removed. A decision comes nearly 2 years after Tate.
I also have some paperwork from the court regarding the Tate's case, which I'm going to read to you that tells the whole truth to what he's reading.
37 and his brother, Tristan Tate, were arrested with 2 Romanian women near the capital. Romanian prosecutors formally indicted all 4 last year. In April, the Bucharest tribunal ruled that a trial should start, but didn't set a date. All 4 deny the allegations. This is a monumental victory for our clients who have maintained their innocence from the very beginning. one of the brothers' lawyers. The court's decision to exclude key evidence and demand rectification of the indictment demonstrates the lack of substantiated claims against them. This lawyer has gone out and said that there is actually nothing in the criminal file against Andrew Tate. You're able to see the charges against you and the evidence against you, right? Court of law, there's nothing. It's an empty file. Andrew Tate hails major victory as Romanian court excludes evidence from human trafficking case against influencer and his brother. Tate hailed a major victory. Romanian court ruled that the evidence against him and his brother, human traffic case, should be excluded.
Do you know why the Tate's case keeps getting delayed a million times? Because the Tate's lawyers keep requesting it. To make the witnesses not want to co-op, make so much time go by. They don't live in Romania, the majority of the girls. They can't just stay in Romania for years. It's a tactic that the attorneys use.
The court ordered prosecutors.
But the Tates will get on to, they delayed it again, no evidence, there's no evidence, nothing to see, it's a lie. Yeah, okay.
To remove part of the evidence collected, gave them 5 days to decide whether they're going to drop the charges altogether. Never. This is never a good sign if you're a prosecutor, right? After hearing the appeal by the defendants, the Bucharest Court of Appeals ordered prosecutors to rectify the irregularities or drop all charges. Tate was indicted in the mid-2023, along with his brother. Tate's team said the groundbreaking decision was a triumph for justice, a pivotal moment in the ongoing legal battle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is making headlines around the world. Romanian appeals court finds flaws in case against Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate celebrates legal win. This is going to change everything. We'll let Andrew Tate speak for himself here. Case closed. Andrew Tate posts. The case was dismissed today. Technically, we're waiting for a dismissal, right? The judge gave a long list of illegal evidence. The prosecution demanded they remove it from the case file. The list of irregularities was long. There was now nothing left. It's over. The truth has finally been revealed to the entire world. Formalities will soon be freed. The whole saga is nothing but a lesson in tenacity.
Oh, yeah.
You need to understand my enemy's strategy. They lied. They filled my case with lies. They knew they lied. They knew they lied, and I knew they lied. They knew the mainstream media would print the lies. They knew the paid goons would spread the lies, and they knew the haters would spread the lies.
I love how Benny, a so-called Trumper, is trying to compare the Tates, human traffickers, pimps, and pedos who have incriminated themselves by talking on the phone, tweets, videos, in their own words that they've made. But Benny here is comparing him to the greatest American to ever live, Donald Trump.
Lies for free. Their goal was to bankrupt and break me. They endlessly campaigned to have me removed from every single social media platform. They campaigned to shut down every one of my banks. Any company that ever worked with me was endlessly attacked. Payment processors shut down for companies I'm not even a part of. But they made one big mistake. I'm a God-fearing. I am principled.
Yeah,
I would rather watch everything burn around me than let injustice win. There's no punishment worse than a life stained of the eternal mark of being a coward, so I didn't shut up, and now here we are. Trump won the election. Truth is coming out, and I will soon be freed. And we have yet only just begun, because I'm not done fighting yet.
Oh,
Andrew
yeah.
Tate taking to X to post this video about what happens next.
Morning. Bust case. Remember everyone that said he's a human trafficker?
You
he's
are.
A human trafficker. I just bust my case. So it turns out that
It's so amazing that this guy just lies and lies and lies. He just lies about everything. And so-called experts like Benny and Candace Owens eat it up. All lies. So he'll be going to prison soon enough, where he belongs, for being a piece of garbage that preyed on underage girls and teenage boys.
I was telling the truth all along. The highest court in Romania, the appeal court, has just ruled that the evidence collected against me is illegal. Here I have a long list of all the illegal elements. Emma Gabby's statement is illegal. Christiana Bourne's statement is illegal. Aliona Montilla's statement is illegal. The seizure of all the money they took is illegal based on procedural violations and constitutional decisions. We need to remove all the WhatsApp conversations which were falsely translated. Illegal.
No.
The whole case is illegal.
Right.
Every single thing in the
I can't wait till he's in prison. I'm going to write him a letter.
And it was all bullshit. I get all of my things back. Everything. And all of it gets sent back to DCOM.
Just because somebody is so animated about their defense doesn't mean they're telling the truth. It's just like when somebody cries, people automatically assume, well, she's crying, she's telling the truth. Just because somebody's being emotional, where the emotional is crying or screaming or anger, it doesn't mean they're telling the truth. Oh yeah, the Tates have been banned from their Real World app on Google because Google said it was a Ponzi scheme targeting teenagers and underage kids. It's all lies, right?
There's now a formality where DCAUT have 5 days to mend the file. But how can you fix a file where everything in it is a lie? Witness statements made against Andrew and Tristan Tate were deemed inadmissible. These pieces of evidence and any reference to them in the prosecution file must be deleted, requested by the court immediately. So I'm reading it now, they have nothing left. The whole file is wrecked. It's going to go back to DCAUT for 5 days. They're going to move some papers around, I guess. Or they're going to come bust in my door and arrest me again.
Hopefully they do.
Because they have to try and fix this file somehow. Or it all gets thrown out. 691 days. 3 years as American citizens, while the democratically run American embassy refused to help us. Refused to help us. They didn't have any interest. We'll take a look, maybe. Trump comes into office and instantly the Romanian courts say, the file's made up, throw it away.
Oh, we knew he was going to go there. Trump's not even inaugurated yet, but because Trump won the presidency, that means he was somehow looking out for Tate. I hate this guy. He's just disgusting. The lies. He thinks he's the smoothest person on the planet with all of his lies. Just a total garbage pedophile.
Funny how the Trump effect works globally. Funny how J6 wasn't just a domestic problem. Anyone talking large online, anyone helping Donald Trump call a case in any country they lived in. I wake up this morning and they say, it's all made up.
Right.
Throw it away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He has every right to be upset and angry, furious, enraged, but still.
All right, I had enough of Benny. This is not true at all what Tate was saying. You know, Benny and Adam Sosnick from the PBD, they want to drink Tate's bathwater instead of looking at the actual evidence. Just because Tate's screaming into the camera with his shirt off, you just all eat it up. You don't look at the actual evidence. Right. You don't look at the videos in his own words that weren't edited of him giving classes and selling classes, how to human traffic and manipulate girls to put them on webcam. Guess what? Those laws have been on the books for like 30 years. The human trafficking laws that the whole world follows, the lover boy technique, it didn't just get made up for Tate. It's been an international law for 30 years. Let's listen to Candace Owens and her nonsense. I'm going to go over the information from the court, which shows which evidence was allowed into Tate's case and which evidence wasn't. Let's listen to Candace Owens, her idol, Andrew Tate, who's a human trafficker, pimp, and pedophile. I can't find her recent video of where she says that his case has been dismissed, but she said it, and she's a protector of Tate through and through. The charges are made up. The charges aren't made up. The evidence isn't made up. A pillar of the truth here, Candace and Benny. Let's listen to Candace Owens be totally in love for the human trafficker, pimp, and pedophile himself, Andrew Tate.
Is that the Matrix works overtime to make it seem as though the people who recognize the insanity, recognize the homosexuality, recognize the pedophilia are in fact the people that are crazy. Like It's a complete inversion of what's actually.
She's talking to a pedophile about pedophilia. Let that sink in. The same. Candace, did you do any research? Did you read any of his tweets where he supports Jeffrey Epstein, one of the biggest pedos on the planet, and other pedo actors? Did you look at when he slips up on video admitting that he started sleeping with Vivian, pimping her out on webcam when she was 15 years old? Candace Owens is talking about pedophilia to a pedophile.
Actually happening.
And the saddest thing is that it works. I mean, where did Macron even come from anyway? I remember that
Maybe
French
he's your
election.
uncle.
I'm certainly no expert on French politics, but I remember he popped up out of nowhere, some globalist. He was a lawyer or a banker or something. They just put him up there and then he won. The last French election, Marine Le Pen was winning and then, she lost. It's like, are these elections even real anymore? Is anything even real anymore?
Oh,
I mean,
here
I
we
only
go.
have criminal cases in 3 countries currently. You may as well add France to the list, you know. But I just don't believe
He's
it.
just so witty, right? He's just so witty, Andrew Tate. None of the evidence is there. I'm going to read you the evidence that's been admitted into his case in a minute. Candace is just so smitten with Andrew Tate, the human trafficker, pimp, and pedophile. Don't leave your daughter around him, Candace.
Any of it. And then Macron stands up there, and of course, he's complete globalist, WEF. I remember his obsession with Merkel. Do you remember the way he used to stare at her? He used to stare at Merkel with adoring eyes. Very strange situation the French find themselves in. And when you point these things out, you point out that it's strange, right? You point out and say, look, this is unusual. Even if she is a woman, which is highly debatable. The fact that she's 30.
You know what's funny what he's saying? Well, when we do that about you, surrounding yourself with underage girls all the time, we say, well, that's highly unusual. And you scream, Matrix! Matrix attack!
Years older, and it's all just a bit weird. But if you want to mention these things, you're right. You're called a crazy conspiracy theorist because so many people are so desperate to conform. You know, I came to this unfortunate realization recently, especially in light of the Kamala garbage. There's a whole bunch of people who want to be slaves. They literally want to be. You sit and say, why can't you convince people to see the truth? And then you realize it's because they don't want to see the truth. They want to be a slave because it makes them feel the same way a child feels when they get attention from their parents. They want to be good slaves to the system.
Is that what it is,
And they
Andrew?
hope that that will prevent them from getting shot. Now, we know our history. It means they'll get shot last, but they'll still get shot.
Right.
So you have to make a decision
that
as a
was
man,
so
especially,
witty.
like, do I want to die first like a hero for telling the truth, or do I want to die a few years later like a coward?
Andrew Tate telling the truth. The same guy that's doing pump and dump crypto scams right now to pay for his attorney's bills and doing raffles for Lamborghinis online, which is also a total scam. CoffeeZilla, did a whole investigation into it, and Andrew Tate lost his mind, but he's all about the truth, right? It's just such a effing joke.
And I guess that's where you see the differentiation in the opinions, the dichotomy of the different types of men who are living in the world today. But it's really crazy that so many people will sit there and consistently consume lies and garbage after they've been lied to so many times, and they feel like,
Just like you do to all the teenage kids in the real world, in the war room, take their money, just lie. Right, Tate? Candace Owens, honestly, you're a disgrace for this sit down and still supporting him that there's no evidence in his case. Miss Pro-Trumper, we're going to do an investigation in Epstein and Diddy and this one and that one. But somehow, some way, Candace just doesn't see the evidence in Andrew Tate's case.
they get some kind of, I don't know if it's satisfaction, I don't know if it's warmth, I don't know what they feel in their heart when they just subjugate themselves to these people. Maybe it's like cuckdom, they like to feel like a cuck. They like to feel stupid. There's no other way. There's a whole bunch of people who want to be enslaved to these systems.
I think slavery is natural, actually. I thought about this for a long time because I'm going, how could you accept this? Like somebody telling you to stay at home, not see your family, double mask, let your parents die alone.
Yeah.
Candace, you just described what Tate does to the girls that he human traffics. Doesn't let them out of the house, doesn't let them call their parents, doesn't let them have friends. They can't leave the compound unless they have the madams with them. I'm done. Listen, she just said all I needed her to say. I'm going to read the evidence that was allowed in Tate's case that's coming up in December. The case isn't dismissed. The case is coming up in December.
Everything spiritually should be coming online going, this is not natural, this is wrong, and I'm going to fight this. But they get in line. And even when they know it's wrong, they're still fearful to speak out and say that for fear of persecution. And something that a study that I showed, like a study that was done by...
Wow, you're talking about the girls in Tate's case who are afraid to speak up because they don't want to get hit, abused, or end up dead. Like, look at Candace's face. It's almost like she's come to the realization, I'm saying these things, but I'm sitting here with a man that makes a living doing these things to underage girls.
By the CIA, an experiment rather, to my audience was where they sat a bunch of people in a room. This is a true CIA experiment. And 17 of them were agents, and one of them was from the public, but he didn't know that he was the only person that wasn't an agent.
Yep.
And they held up a picture of a triangle, and they went around the room, and they said, what do you see? And every agent, went through them first, and they said, square, 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 square. It was clearly a triangle. Square, 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 square. They get to that last guy, and he says, square. Knowing fully that he is seeing a triangle.
Yep.
So what they understand is that peer pressure, like the psychology of peer pressure, is a real thing. But it's stunning to me that grown men succumb to this, or something that's unbelievably wrong about that.
Yeah, completely. And that's why they attack masculinity so heavily, because truthfully, as a man,
I can't
if you have an
listen to
opinion
this
which
shit.
is different
The
to
face
other
of
men,
masculinity
it crosses your mind, you might have to fight.
that can't get a job like everybody else has to mentally abuse and prey on 13 to 15-year-old girls, but he's the face of masculinity, right? Tristan has all 4 of his baby mamas prostituting themselves out on webcam as he keeps all the money, but the Tates are the faces of masculinity, according to Candace Owens. So let's look at the evidence that was allowed by the judge in Tate's case that's going to court in December. So the lie that Benny Johnson and Candace Owens are telling is that Andrew Tate's case has been thrown out, which is a lie. The case is going to court December 5th. I'm going to show you the evidence of what the judge excluded in the case and what the judge allowed into the evidence, and the Tates are finished. They're human traffickers, they're pimps, they're pedophiles. They are not off the hook. They're going to court December 5th. First, this is a summary of today's appeal decision regarding Andrew and Tristan Tate's first Romanian case. What's not being allowed, irregularities was admitted as expected. This is due to a lack of clarity regarding sums subject to confiscation. It's not an issue. 2 victim statements to the court were excluded because they were taken too early. The victims will need to give their statements again. However, their statements to DICOT remain not an issue. DICOT must add additional information to the indictment regarding a victim and a deliver of all the evidence for her to the Tate's legal team. This appears to be a procedural in nature. Andrew and Tristan's statements to DICOT were removed from the case file because they can't be used against them as they were witnessed at the time. Those statements stand by given again, or they can remain silent. Now they are defendants and no longer witnesses. This is a small win for the brothers. Yeah, because they probably incriminated themselves because they're guilty. That's why. Unclear description of human trafficking offenses attributed to Georgiano Nagel and Alejandro Radu. DICOT must correct this in the indictment. This does not impact the Tate brothers. So now what's able to come into the courtroom during their trial? No other evidence was excluded. This is a massive blow to the Tate brothers. No other evidence was excluded. You know how much evidence is in the Tate's case? They have thousands of pages, like 100 to 300,000 pages, and I'm not even exaggerating because it's all WhatsApp messages for the most part. The WhatsApp chats remain. That means faked WhatsApp chats is officially debunked, as we previously said. So all that, when the WhatsApp messages went viral and it was shown what Andrew and Tristan Tate were saying about the girls, doing to them, manipulating them, abusing them, the Tates claimed that the WhatsApp messages were somehow, I don't know, fake or edited, the typical Tate garbage spin. One more time. The WhatsApp chats remains. That means faked WhatsApp chats is officially debunked, as we previously said. The majority of the evidence is WhatsApp chats. This is another blow to the Tate's defense. You know why these two morons were talking on WhatsApp? Because everybody believes that somehow that the police or whoever can't monitor or listening to your conversations on WhatsApp. Only two idiots like the Tates would think that they don't have that ability to do that because they're idiots. And all computer search evidence remains. DICOT has 5 days to address the asset irregularities and make any additional decisions regarding continuing. The next hearing will be on December 10th, not the 5th. All parties will be summoned. The case is not dismissed against Andrew Tate. So, Candace Owens, Benny Johnson, and the Tates, shut up. You know, this is what kills me about all three of these guys. Two guys and a female. They all claim to be the pillars of truth and righteousness, and they're going to take down Democrats for lying, and The View, and the Deep State, and Epstein, and this one and that one. And they're all lying through their teeth. Candace Owens and Benny Johnson and the Tates. The Tates are human traffickers, pimps, and pedophiles. And Benny Johnson, Candace Owens, Adam Sosnick from some of the biggest so-called conservative podcasts are all lying and trying to cover up their crimes.